Before we proceeding further, I would like to give you a note on object-oriented programming. Java is an object-oriented programming. We already discussed that, except the primitive data type. Now, what is an object-oriented programming? Object-oriented programming is an effective way of representing real-world situations or real-world objects as objects in a programming language. By doing so, we can easily solve a lot of real-world problems, and we can also manage easily all the objects that we have created. Once we have a real-world situation as object, it is easy to create them and easy to manage them. Now, how can we create an object in Java? In Java, all the objects are created using classes. So, if we have a real-world object, we can model that real-world object as a class in Java. By doing so, we are creating that object. Let's consider a real-world example. Let's take book. A book is an object. To bring that object into Java, we can create a book object. To create a book object, we can create a class, Java class. I'm going to name it as book. Okay, the book object has been created. Now what is next? This book object must mean something. So let's create some attributes. Book has ISBN number. Book has an author. What we are trying to achieve using a book object, we can bring them as attributes to that object. To create attributes, we can use variables here inside this book object. So let's create some attributes of book. So a book has author, so author can be represented as a string, author name. Okay. A book has a number of pages. Okay. So int number of pages. A book also has a category like educational or religious or fiction or science fiction. So we can add a category as well. String book category. Then the book also has a printing press, right? Who is printing the book? We can add that. String book publisher. So we have added 4 attributes of a book object. A book has an author, a book has number of pages, a book has a category, and book has a publisher. So here I have to change this. Here we are trying to model the book object. We have created 4 variables. Now we are not limited to create only the variables. We can create methods as well. So let's try to create a method of a book which returns the overview of the book. Of course, in every book at the back of the page you will see a summary of the book. So let's try to create a method which returns the summary of the book. So public string overview book is a method. It simply returns a string. Now we have added a method named overview of book into this book object. Now this book object has 4 variables and 1 method. Now I have a book object. Now I should be able to manipulate this book object. I should be able to use it. I should be able to store it. I should be able to transfer it. I should be able to do all these things. Now Java provides all these possibilities. I can do anything I want with this object. Now let's create some instances of this object. Now how can I use this object, right? So I'm going to create an instance of this object. For that I'm going to create another class, a main class. Right click here, new Java class. Just main class, like I can type anything, just main class. Here let's create the main method as well. Now I have created a main class. Now we can create instances of book object. What we are doing is we are creating a book object. We can create multiple book objects, right? So let's try to create objects. Book, Lord of Rings, volume 1 equal to new book of. Here we are creating an empty object. We have not created any constructor, so we can create a constructor. A constructor is a method which will be automatically called when an object is created. So let's create a constructor here. To create a constructor, generate constructor. We can initialize all 4 variables. Okay. What is the problem? Okay, problem is here. Now what we have to pass? We have to pass author name, number of pages, book category, and book publisher. So let's pass them here. Let's provide author name. Author name is Tolkien. And I'm not sure about the number of pages, so I'm just passing as 1000. And book category is an adventure and fantasy and adventure. Then we have one more parameter, which is publisher. Publisher is publisher. I'm not sure about the publisher. Let's give DC Books. Okay. We have created an object of book which is called Lord of Rings Volume 1. This object is an attempt to model the Lord of Rings Volume 1. We are not limited to create only one object. We can create many other objects. So we can create another object, Lord of Rings Volume 2. I am going to copy paste this. Volume 2. In the Volume 2, we can add 789 or 98. Then DC Books. The same author. Now we have created 2 objects. Each objects are an attempt to model Lord of Rings Volume 1 and Lord of Rings Volume 2. Now the important part is to access an object's attribute or value or method. We have to use dot notation. So what is a dot notation? Let's see. Let's try to print system dot out dot println. We can directly access the object's attribute using dot notation. So I'm going to access the number of pages of Lord of Rings Volume 1. Lord of Rings Volume 1. Then dot notation. This is how we have to access a object's attribute. Then we can give number of pages. Now I'm going to run this program and let's see the output. Yeah, see here, we have the output. Now same way I can call the method as well. Now we have one method, get overview or overview of book. I'm going to print it. Yeah. So this is how we access the object's attribute using dot notation. Now let's try to edit the object, edit the author name. Let's see. Here we can directly access author name. Lord of Rings dot volume 1 dot author name equal to J.R.R. Tolkien. Okay. Now let's print the name. I'm going to run this program. Yeah, see here the name has been edited. So this is not the best way to edit. The recommended way to edit an object is using setter methods. So one can have a setter method like this. Here I'm going to create a setter method for author name. Generate a setter. Currently I'm giving for only author name. Okay. So here we can call dot set author name. Then we can pass this value. Okay. Now I'm going to run this program. Yeah, see here. Now to save a object's data, we can save author name into a string. Now we know that author name is a string, so it should be stored into a string. String auth name equal to lot of strings volume dot author name, and we can pass this author name here. Yeah. Now author name is a string object. String is also an object in Java. That means all the string methods are accessible to this variable. Let's see. Dot to uppercase. To uppercase is a string method which converts all the characters into uppercase. See here, all the characters has been converted. Now this highlighted is still an object. It is still a string object. That means it can access other methods as well using dot notation. Now I'm going to call to lowercase. Now let's see. Wow, see this? Now it's all of them are lowercase. Now this is a still object, a string object. That means this can still call string methods. Okay, let's call substring. Then we can call begin index. Then we can call 3. Now I'm going to run this program. See here, we got JR, first 4 characters of the author name. The main objective of object-oriented programming is reusing the code or avoiding the duplication of code. That is the main objective of object-oriented programming. So when you design an application, if you think that you are duplicating a code, try to change the design. Over time, you will become a perfect design. Don't feel embarrassed that you have to change many places. Actually, everyone have gone through that phase. Okay. Now this is all about objects in Java. Now this course is all about collection framework, such as we can store all these objects into collections as well. So let's create a collection, array list, and this array list is going to store books, book. Then we can have a name books equal to new array list of. Now we can add all these objects into this array list, books dot add of lot of rings volume 1, then books dot add of lot of rings volume 2. See here, we have stored both objects into an array list, and here we are specifying that this array list will hold only objects of book. So Java won't allow any other objects other than book. So this is an overview of objects in Java, how objects can be accessed and how objects can be stored in variables and as well as in collections. And you will see many of these objects in this course. So each time you encounter this, you will learn more about objects and how it works. An understanding of object is very important when you start working with objects.